Hey guys, happy Friday. Hope you're having a good week. Appreciate the feedback I got from last week's video. It was sort of a personal story and the feedback was very good. Lots of people called me and emailed me, which was great. But it got me thinking, it's the personal stories that you've got that people get the most. And so I want to use another story this week to push a point. And you'll see in a second when I take my ugly head off this screen that I've titled this little Friday wrap: when you're presented with an option, take the harder option. But let me tell you about this story. A friend of mine, a bunch of years ago, we both had the same car, this Holden Sportswagen. She was going to sell hers and she's getting a trade, and she was going to get $16,000 trade, and she owed $20,000 on it. Anyway, she's all bitter and twisted. I owe $20,000 on the car. I'm only going to get $16,000 for it. I'm going to have to roll $4,000 into the new car. Anyway, she goes, "How much do you owe on yours?" I'm like, "No, I paid it out." She's like, "Oh, you're so lucky." I'm like, "What do you mean lucky?" And she goes, "You've paid your car out. You don't have any debt on it." I go, "Okay, tell me why you've got debt on yours." And long story short, she bought this car. We both bought the car, same time, same amount of money. She took her loan over 7 years with a 40% balloon. I took my loan over 3 years with no balloon. I took the hard option. I paid it out so much sooner, but in her eyes, I was lucky. So I want to give you a couple of examples of the situation that we find ourselves in now with the world, where you might be able to do something that gives you some long-term benefit. And what I mean by that is, as you said, when presented with an option, take the harder option. At the moment, the world's completely different to what we knew it to be a couple of months ago. And the people I'm talking to in this video is people that have maintained employment, maintained their full level of income. And the reason I'm talking to you is because chances are you're not spending as much money as you were a couple of months ago. Now, I can tell you from experience, the thousands of people that I've spoken to over all the years, most people live month to month. The old saying, there's more month at the end of the money, as opposed to being more money at the end of the month. It's pretty bad, but it's the habits that people have formed that they spend everything they earn. Now, I use a word habit. If you can change that habit around, and you don't spend everything you earn, and you allocate some money to debt reduction, wealth creation, over the long term, you're going to be far better off for it. And I want to give you some examples to prove that point. So let's have a look at an example here. The most important boxes is these two here. Somebody's home loan of $300,000, interest rate's 3%. It should be quite a lot less than that. So if your interest rate's not less than 3%, change that. Call the banks. They don't need to be taking more money off you than they do. Low twos apparently is a good rate at the moment. But anyway, as an example, 3%, $2,000 a month. It's going to take over 15 and a half years. If you changed your repayment by $100 a week, now $100 a week times 52 weeks divided by 12 months is $433 a month. You're going to have that paid off in just over 12 years. So you're going to save nearly 3.5 years. 3 years, $2,000 a month times 12 months is $24,000 times 3 years is $72,000 and a little bit. That's what you're going to take, or that's the benefit that you're going to get by putting $100 a week onto your loan. I always say to people, put yourself 12 and a half years down the track and you've paid off your loan. How do you feel? You feel great. How do you feel if you didn't pay that $100 a month now that you built a solid habit? You don't feel so great. So you need to make decisions based on the knowledge of your future self. What about an alternative option? In this situation, we've got $100 a week being deposited, 7% return, 25 years. Yeah, it's a long time, but you should be thinking in long times. That result, $350,000, 130 of it was your own money, 220 of it was interest. $100 a week, but over the period of time, it's become something significant. One thing that people causes them not to do it is because the effect of $100 a week now is not much. Okay, it's like, what if I, people don't do things because the effect of what they do isn't much in the moment. It takes time for that benefit. So what people need to be more concerned about is the trajectory that they're on, not where they're at. Okay, so what about if we go over here, where in that first instance it's 350,000? What if they waited 5 years? If they waited 5 years and then put $100 a week in, they're going to end up with $220,000. Okay, so $130,000 less because they waited 5 years. Now, if you're like me, you're like, damn it, I wish I got to that 350. What do I have to do? Well, to get to 350, if you start in 5 years, you've got to put in $155 a week to get to the same amount of money. You can see that in this first side, this is putting in $100 a week now. It gets us there. We start in 5 years, and that light green one gets us to the same amount of money. So you've got to put in 50% more money if you wait 5 years to generate the same result. But like I said earlier, people aren't doing anything now, or the reason people don't form strong habits now, don't take action now, is because the positive result isn't seen now. So if you put it down to, going past Macca's, what's one more cheeseburger? So you have that cheeseburger because the negative result doesn't really affect you now either. But on the flip side, you don't, stop eating the McDonald's right now because, what difference is that going to make right now? It's 10 years down the track where you're fitter and healthier and, better off for it. Bringing that back to money, people don't take action now because the result of it's not great now. Whereas, if you look at the trajectory that you're on and the habit that you're formed, that's the benefit. So bringing it all together, if you're in a position right now where you might not be spending as much money, I've said it a couple of times in past emails, in past videos, look for the opportunity in the crisis. This is one such opportunity. See if you can find some money. See if you can direct it. I'd love to talk to you about the numbers. I love my numbers. I'd love to talk to you about the numbers. If you want to run numbers by me and say, hey, Jace, I've got this. What do you think we should do? We've got all the tools in the world, and this is what I do. It's what I love to do. So, couple of things there, guys. Like I said, when presented with an opportunity, look for the crisis, in the opportunity, and when presented with an option, take the harder option. Hope it all makes sense. Any questions, let me know. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.